Thank you for tuning into Iris Inspires TV. We will be starting in a few minutes. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment, and share with others. Get comfortable, and let's have a real talk about real experiences, leaving you with real hope.
Good afternoon or good evening. Welcome, 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 welcome this evening to Iris Inspires TV. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule and for joining me in this conversation. I've been blessed tonight to sneak out for a little bit. I haven't done that in a long time, so this is a pre-recorded. But please engage with me. Please engage with me. Please make sure you subscribe, like, and share. We're going to have a dynamic conversation. I'm not going to be with you long or hold you long is what I'm trying to say. But we will make it impactful. It will be an impactful conversation, discussion. And I am asking that you please put your comments in the chat. Let me know where you're listening in from. That's what helps makes this platform grow and glow, get into the algorithm so that more people will learn and hear about Iris Inspires and our content that we are sharing here on the Iris Inspires TV. So you know what we're getting ready to do. I'm a little congested for some reason today, but I'm still. Let me ask you this. For those of you that are connected with me on social media, are you liking the clips of intentional breath, pause, take a breath? Are you liking that on TikTok, Instagram, and then in our Breathe community on Facebook? Are you liking those? Yes or no? Let me know. And if you are, but I'm going to ask that you do, is please make sure that you like and share. If you're being blessed by it, someone else, I'm sure, will be blessed by it. I get a lot of reels in my DM. And a lot of the reels that I receive, and I'm appreciative of it, thank you kindly. But you are not liking mine. Are you sharing my reels like you sharing everybody else's? I just want to know. If you guys have any of you that are listening and you've been a part of the work that I have been involved with over the years, you know that my platforms have always opened her doors to other folk. That's just what I do. I open my doors to others and give them an opportunity to share. I believe that we learn from each other. Each one teach one. When we know better, we do better, and we give the tools that we have learned and we've learned by experience, by application, and by living it out. And so, as you know, on my platforms, I'm always exposing you to others. So I'm going to ask for those of you that have been on my platform before, those of you that are connected to me on social media, those of you that just watch me on YouTube, please, if you are blessed in any kind of way, if it makes you smile, if it makes you think, if it uplifts your spirit, if it inspires you, please subscribe and like. It helps grow my platform, and I'm not trying to grow it just to grow it to grow. My mission, my mandate is to be, I am Iris Inspires. I am Iris inspires contagious inspiration. I am unconditional love. I am an agent of transformation. I shift the trajectory of our lives. I agitate and instigate and cause us to think. A lot of things we do is we just accept just because, right? Because it was told to us, because we learned it that way, because we saw it that way, and we don't challenge. And so what we do here on Iris Inspires is offer you different settings that gives you a safe space to express, think, and challenge you to expand beyond the borders of what's comfortable to you or where you have lived, what you have seen. Life is so much bigger and brighter than where you have been. There's more. All righty. With that said, let's take a deep inhale and exhale. Yeah, just get present with your breath right now. And as you know, what we do is we release what happened earlier today, right before we got on live. What happened yesterday, last year, this time? What happened last week? What happened? What they did, didn't do, how it did, if it was good, if it wasn't good, whatever we thought about it. We let it go in this moment and we get present with our breath. Yes, that breath that was given to us by the creator of all life. And when he breathed the breath of life in you, in me, in us, we became a living soul. And can nobody take that from you, no matter where you've been, where you're going, and how you got there. Nobody can take from you your breath given to you from the creator of all life that declares and decrees that you're created in the very image and after the likeness of all life. Yeah. Now, you may not know that, and you may act out of character because you don't know it. You may not be fully aware of the power you possess and the authority that has been given to you to operate in this earth realm. You may not know that you are the essence of God in the earth. It doesn't change the fact that that's who you are. And so people like me and others that have a mandate, a call on their life, they can't run away from it. I've tried, and it keeps coming right back. Can't run away from it. So my mandate is to remind you who you are, to stir up that gift on the inside of you, to stimulate your mind, to cause you to think and ask questions. Ask questions. We're not supposed, God did not create us to be non-thinking beings, afraid of our thoughts, but to bring our thoughts and our thinking into the authority and the power of the creator who created us. And when we do that, we can trust it. We can be confident in the work that's in us, the goals, the intentions, the desires, our heart, our mind, what we see, what we hear, what we taste, what we feel is in alignment. Because when it's out of alignment, what happens is we get into toxic relationships. We get into unhealthy relationships. We take on careers and jobs that compromise who we are. We become a part of ministries that are in direct conflict of what you know God to be in your life. So it's so important. It's so important that you spend time with self. And so when I say spend time with self, what I mean is it is impossible for me to say I love God and not love self. And it's impossible for me to say I love self and not love God. Because I know that God, the creator of all life, is in me, not out there somewhere trying to get to me, but is in me. And so when I know that, despite what's going on in our world, in our communities, in the government, in the politics, in the appearance of lack. Yeah, I said appearance, because obviously there's no real lack. Otherwise, we wouldn't have billionaires, trillionaires, and millionaires. All righty. So it's an illusion. And when we allow ourselves to get connected to the source and see with clear eyes, not in fear, but in love, what am I committed to? I get clear to what my commitments are. What are my standards? Not my boundaries, not my confinement, but my standards, what I live up to. So that when I fall short of the standard, I remember I can rise up and stand in it. I can walk in courage, stand in victory, and move in confidence. Yeah. That's what breathing, taking intentional breaths does. It reminds us who we are. It clears the cobwebs. It loosens up the tension. Helps us relieve and release what's not ours. And it don't happen overnight, by the way. It's a journey. It is a journey to reconditioning our mind and our thoughts. Tonight's theme is learning to breathe again, after a breakup. So I'm going to ask for you to put in the chat, those of you that are listening, when you heard that, what did you immediately think? I was talking about a relationship, right? Because we got marriage, gone, divorce. So she got to be talking about relationships. Well, a breakup can be relationship. It can be a marriage. It can be a friendship, right? But breakup is more than just, and I don't like using the word just because it implies that it is not in just like it's not as important as the other. And I'm not saying that or implying that. I'm explicitly saying that a breakup includes anything we have to cut off, a breakup, anything that changes suddenly. It can be career, it can be housing, a breakup, right? Yes, a divorce, a relationship, a marriage. It can be a friendship. It can be a breakup and a breaking in how you relate to others, a breaking up of the fear and the insecurity on the inside of us. Breakup, living, learning to breathe again through the breakup, breaking up the fallow ground. Yeah, the fallow ground. That's a spiritual term we use. But when we talk about breaking up the fallow ground from a scholastic or a spiritual or a metaphysical standpoint, what we're talking about, those areas, those where we show up inauthentically. Some we may call it the imposter syndrome. Sour grapes is another one. When we show up not as our authentic self, when we are afraid to be who we are. We say we're not, and we'll come off like we're not. But the truth, what lies underneath that is a fear of being found out that I'm really god darn scared. The fear of being found out, I really don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I do know that I have envisioned and I've taken on the principles of manifestation. I've taken on embracing the totality of who I am. Okay. And so because of that, I can transparently tell you this journey ain't easy. Well, the choices are easy. It's just not comfortable. So you have choices. And so what happens is when we have to break up, break away from, break down the dense matter in our thinking, this fog causing us not to see clearly and think with a transformed mind and think in abundance in the face of lack, and to see more than enough of money and more than enough supply, right? To remember what we've already overcome, but not to get stuck in the memory of what we overcame. Because what can also happen is we remember it and we just keep hanging out there, right? It was like this. I remember when, and I did this, and I had that success, and yada, 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 and on and on and on and on. And so you keep living in that recurring memory of what was and how it was and when it happened and what it looked like and how you did it. And in the old days. And I'm not saying those memories are not good. I'm not saying that, or even that they're not healthy. What I am saying is you don't want to get stuck there. There's nothing wrong with reflecting, because if you follow me on any other platforms, or if you have a conversation with me, you will hear me reflect. Most of my reflection is to remind me that wherever I am, it will not stay the same. It will change. It can be a health issue. It can be a financial issue. It can be a relationship issue, challenge. And when I say issue, I'm talking challenge. I'm talking difficulty. I'm talking having to make a choice that's not comfortable. It can be all of that. So when I reflect, right, it's to remind me that, listen, you gotten over this, maybe not this or similar situations, or if you have, it changes. It doesn't, nothing stays the same. We started this conversation about 15 minutes ago. 15 minutes and 53 seconds is when this broadcast started. And within them 15 minutes and 58, 59 seconds now, there's been change. There's been change. And it is now the past. It's gone. Now, I can reflect on that and I can remember it, but I can't get stuck in it. I have to use it as fuel to energize. And a good source of doing this. So with that said, let me say this. If you listen to our last month's broadcast, when we talked about breast cancer awareness, and we talked about domestic violence awareness, and you know that we expanded the conversation to not just represent our common understanding and knowledge of what we think domestic violence is, how we even handle and deal and work with breast cancer. We expanded the conversation. But what I want to make sure that I do is let you know that each of us have a distinct journey, as all of our guests have said up to this point, and specifically last month. All of us have a specific journey that's unique to us, right? Counseling and therapy and coaching is here to support us through the journey, right? And many times we have an aversion, or we're afraid of that, or we don't need that, or we think we don't need that, or we don't want to utilize those tools because we think it is independent of our spiritual beliefs. It's independent of our trust in God. Okay. And that is because we see God as somewhere out there, not on the inside of us. And so what coaching, therapy, and counseling does, it supports us in unpacking, right, the blocks, the unhealthy thinking, the choice making, the toxic behavior. And yes, sometimes we look at it's where it stems from, where it was created from, the generation. You see patterns in yourself and in your family lineage, right? And so we use tools within coaching, counseling, and therapy to support in getting through that. That's what yours truly do, and that's what many of my guests that come on this platform. That's what healthy, safe, brave space support group and counseling is all about. So you have to learn to breathe again. Let it go. Stop holding your breath. How do you stop holding? You say, I can't be holding my breath. I'm living. Well, when I say breathe again, letting go of the toxins, tapping, or some of the, if you've been following me, or some of the things that we do, and letting go and loosening up those pockets in our body. That feels good. I needed that. This loosens up a lot of the toxins, right? We're holding on. Breast cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, colon cancer, rectum cancer, all of those are life force organs, y'all. In case you didn't know, lung cancer. Life force. It's life-giving, and it's our releasing mechanisms that God has created our body to function in. However, if we're toxic, our diets are toxic, our release is toxic, meaning that the things we enjoy to do to veg out, excessive eating, excessive drinking, excessive smoking, excessive sexing, meaning that particularly, well, even if you're in a marriage, you can have unhealthy sex practices. I know the scripture says that a bed is undefiled, and I'm not saying that it isn't. I'm saying when it's only totally used just to escape the realities of what must be dealt with in our life. We cannot escape. That's when it becomes toxic. We get that, and so those pockets start. It good. Ain't nothing wrong with a little rumbling in the sheets. Oh my goodness. But it's very important to recognize that when we're using that not to deal with life, that's what I mean. Because eventually that will not be enough. That will go cold. And any of you that has been in any long-term relationship, even short-term relationship, if you have not really discovered the essence of who you are and the essence of the relationship that you're in, and have really built it on an authentic platform of trust and truth, it will implode. And that implosion takes a toll on the mental health, the spiritual health, and the physical health. So we have to learn to breathe again. We have to learn to get the oxygen in our body, to breathe and to live again. All right. All right. With that said, one of the other things I wanted to make another correction. I think last week I said that I had been a vegan since April of this year. That wasn't the truth. It was April of the year before. Time is moving so fast. And I guess I was still in 2024 and forgetting that this is 2025. So it's been over a year that I've taken on the practice of eating without meat and dairy, and many times just vegetables. Yes, I do soursop and I'm sorry, I just got a text, and other things that I use specifically for keeping my body, my temple clean, and while it is healing, because I am going through a specific healing process. I have stronger days. I'm not going to say good days and bad. I have stronger days, and I have days where they're not as strong. And so I have days where I am weak. And when I am weak, I have learned to embrace that it is time for me to reflect, to recharge my battery, to do what I have to do, to rest. One of my last week, I shared in one of the intentional breath posts reminders that what does resilience mean to you? How do you define resilience? This is all a part of learning to breathe again in a breakup. How are you defining resilience? Is resilience just push, suppress, and keep it moving, keep it going because you got a goal to meet? Or does resilience recognize that, yes, I have the strength and the fortitude to choose me, self-care, to rest? And rest can look like a drive. It can look like a park. It can look like taking a nap. It can look like sitting down, eating a hearty salad. It can look like turning off all of your devices, turning off the TV. It can look like telling your family, look, this is quiet time for me. I know when my son was younger, he knew when mommy needed mommy time. You need some mommy time, don't you? And he would say it, right? So, but knowing that it's not about suppressing, it's about recognizing, it's about acknowledging, and then letting that go. Resilience is learning how to let that go, right? And in the process, in the journey of releasing and letting go, you may do that by journaling. You guys know I say journaling will not harm you. That's one of the safest places for you to release, right? It will not harm you. It will not talk about you. It will not call you crazy. It is a safe place. It's a healing place. Journaling. You can start recognizing patterns in your life, right? And patterns in your thought process and your feelings and what's triggering you, right? And so journaling is a healthy way to learn to breathe again. All righty. With that said, let me end with this. I want to share with you guys the distinctions, because I've been asked, of therapy, of coaching, and counseling. Okay, here we go. You ready? All righty. So the distinction in coaching So coaching focuses on future goals, growth, performance, and potential, right? So we assess it where you are and where you want to go, and then we put a plan in action to get there. What do we need to do to get there? Okay, we emphasize action, accountability, and results. So it's very result oriented. Coaching is emotional support and coping with life challenges. Okay, so counseling, what we do is we support you emotionally with coping with life challenges like breakups. Okay, yes, in relationships, in marriages, in friendships, in career change, and recognizing that there's some spiritual breakups that need to happen, some spiritual alignments that need to be severed, religious alignments that we need to sever, some belief systems that need to be broken up, and some new ones need to be poured in, because once you break it out and discard it, if you don't put something back in it, it will return. All right. We're not going to hang out on that. Okay. All right. But there you go. So counseling, we focus on your emotional support with coping with life challenges. All righty. So you got coaching. What's your goal? What's your intentions? Accountability, and what's the plan of action and to get there? Results oriented. Counseling, emotional support. Okay. Emotional. What has you up in arms? What has you uncomfortable? What are your triggers? What's your blocks? All right. What are the traits, the commonalities that you're seeing? And then how do we redefine it? That's what I work. You can redefine any experience in your life. You get power. You have the power to redefine that experience, whatever that experience is. All right. That's taking your power back. Okay. All righty. And then therapy. Our focus is on mental health, trauma, and deep emotional healing, grief, loss, trauma. Those are the areas that I specialize in all of these. You'll see that that those of you that work with me and those of you that have been wondering, what is it that Iris Inspires does? I do all three. However, I do have a degree in a master's in clinical mental health. All right. I have certifications in grief and loss and trauma. I have, I'm with what's called a grief doula. That simply means I work with you in creating a plan or how you choose to walk through the journey of grief. You get to do that. We have not often taken advantage of that tool, or we don't understand we are doing it. Right. This is the other one. This is bigger than that. We don't understand that we have been choosing how we walk through the journey of grief all the way through our celebratory experiences with grief. Right. Our rituals, our traditions. Okay. Funerals and celebrations of life, the repast. Okay. Memorial service. All of those are rituals and traditions and how we journey through the grieving process, right? A person transitions, the family is taken care of. If you're a part of a ministry or a community, they come in, they bring you, they feed the family comes in. Okay, those are rituals and traditions, all right, of how we walk through grief. But what I do, however, not but in lieu of, what I do is offer you an opportunity when you know that these are things that are going to happen, how you want that to occur. I can remember my mother saying that she wanted to be cremated. And we were adamant I'm still talking about learning to breathe again after a breakup, y'all. And we were adamant about, nope, we're not doing no cremations around here. If God's trying to save you from the fire, why we gonna burn you? I think about that now, and I hear that, and it sounds just crazy. Just the thought process alone sounds crazy, right? Simply because this is just the house that I'm in, the physical house that I'm in, right? But I am a spiritual being in this house, showing up as the essence of God in the earth. And so this physical house is going to deteriorate Anyway, but sometimes what's happened because of our confusion of what we believe, because we've been told so much of what's innate in us and the questions that we have sometimes around some of the things, practices that we do, that it has stifled our ability to deal with death in a different way. I just realized I said probably, and it messes with your algorithm. That's why I paused like that, y'all. At any rate, so make sure that you go to the website and check out what the counselor under Healthy, Safe, Brave Spaces. You see me at the top, and then we have other counselors and coaches that are available. They've been on our platform. You can look at the videos, the episodes that I've done with them. But the main thing I want you to remember tonight is that you are co-creator with the Creator. And to create and to build and to experience the opulence of God in us, we must allow a breakup from thinking, thoughts, belief systems that stagnate our growth. That means that we may not listen to all of the politics that's going on. We must be aware. We must be aware enough to know where we are in this world. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Where we are in the world. Oh, excuse me. And in this system, and understanding it from a scholastic, educational, spiritual stand, historical patterns, being clear about that, right? We got to know that to be clear about that. Then, but we also must know how to release it so it doesn't cause us to get stuck, all right, in the heaviness of what appears to be something to detriment us. We must remember the change and shifting and reorganizing. I have one of my mentors that says right sizing up, right? Not downsizing, but right sizing, positioning us so that we not only survive this breakup, this change of thinking, belief systems, how we see, how we hear, how we speak, how we experience the world, the life, our families, that we not only survive it, but we live. And that we leave a legacy. What is a legacy? What am I talking about? We leave the footprints of how we did it. So that those that come behind us, our children, our grandchildren, our nieces, our nephews, the generations to come will know we don't have to rebuild this. We can look at how the ancestors did it. And then we can develop our own relationship and understanding of who God is, the creator of all life. The one I, you, we are created in the image and likeness of the creator of all life. And I don't have to be afraid of you because you may believe different than me, see different than me, look different than me, speak different than me. I don't have to be afraid of you. But I can take the opportunity to learn, to embrace and appreciate that we are all God's children. We're not all aware of it, meaning that we're not all operating in the fullness, the opulence, the warriorship of who we are. I believe that's the war we're in right now. And it's manifesting in the physical world as it has been doing for a good When did the pandemic hit? Was it 2020? From 2020 forward, the world has been, the earth has been shaken, shimmering, shaken. Systems, the spheres of the world, what we thought was unfaltering, the Constitution of the world, of America. How about that? The Constitution, the systems have to shake, have to reorganize. And it's calling us to rise up. What are your standards? You have not been given the spirit of fear. You don't have to choose from the bucket of fear all the things that are presented for you and I to be afraid of. We don't have to be afraid. But a power, we can go inside the spirit, see, hear, think, speak, and act. And sometimes the action is learning how to be still. Have you ever wondered, and I'm going to finish it, have you ever been thinking about someone, that energy has been to someone, and then they called you? You said, I got to call them. I wonder how they're doing. Or you may whisper a prayer or send some energy their way. Or you may call their name out. And then what we're saying, you're going to live a long time. I was just talking about you. I was just thinking about you. That's an energy field that we've sent out. But we've been taught to say if it's an energy field, that's the spirit, right? To be afraid of it. What happens when we harness that energy? What happens when we harness the power, the authority? I'm created in the image and after the likeness of God. I am co-creator with the creator. What happens as I begin to create with the creator and I break up that fear, the fallow ground, the places in my body, in my heart, in my mind, in my thinking that inhibits me for creating in the spirit of opulence, integrity, power, the Holy Spirit, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding. And then love. Yeah, love feels good. Does it? What are you committed to? Love is your commitment. Are you clear about your commitment? Are you clear about your standards? Not your boundaries, not what confines you, but your standards. What are you rising up to? What's calling you forward? Okay? And then when I'm in alignment, when I'm not in fear, when I'm full of the spirit, pure spirit, Holy Spirit, clear spirit, intentional to be a blessing to humankind in my God consciousness. And I'm clear about that in my commitment. I now make healthy decisions. Sound mind, healthy decisions. I choose clearly. And when I see that I have chosen in ego and pride, when I see that when I have chosen in ego and pride, I pause, I realign, I forgive, and then I move forward. It's not comfortable, but it is necessary. I pray something's been said to uplift your spirit, encourage your heart, real talk, real experience, real hope. You are listening to a woman that yet walks through this daily. It has taken me a lot of years to be okay with me. A lot of years. It's taken me a lot of years to get to the place of forgiving God, my latest book. What does that mean? I want you to get the book and read it for yourself. What I will tell you is this. it means that all that stuff I was waiting on God to do for me, I recognize that He gave me the authority to do it for me, and that I am empowered by the authority of God to do it. I was just being fun with that. Nevertheless, thank you again for joining. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Please subscribe, like, and share, and check out our content on the station. We got a lot of stuff there to uplift your spirit. Enjoy the remainder of your Thursday night. We will not have an after show tonight. We'll be doing an after show, but there will not be an after show tonight. But we will sneak back on sometime over the weekend, if all works out for that to occur. Don't forget, we're in the height of our annual giving for the Center of Empowerment. By all means, select the QR code that's above. Yeah, let me do it like this. This a QR code that's above. You can click that, and it will take you to the Center of Empowerment. I just put a new QR code up. It will take you to the Center of Empowerment. We have our annual Bags of Blessing, and then we have our Coin PM Africa. So make sure you check that out. But above all else, don't forget who you are. Outrageous favor. I've been speaking that for 2 weeks, and honey, let me tell you, it has been blowing my mind. Outrageous favor, outrageous favor. Keep speaking it and declaring it to you, over you, yours, and your family. Outrageous favor over every area in your life. All right, that's it. That's all. Blessings until next time, and I will see you guys. Love you much.
Thank you again for joining us tonight. Do not forget to check out our content, upcoming schedule for the month, and by all means, your contributions to Coin PM are 100% tax deductible at www.coinpm.org/donate, or you can sow a seed directly to Iris Inspires on Cash App, Venmo, at Iris Inspires, and I will be grateful as Iris Inspires and Center of Empowerment continues building bridges of hope for you and your family.